Time for round 3. We're still at Legacy. I've got Jatesh with me like we did in rounds 1 and 2. We've also got Dougal Warby here, Mr. Death and Taxes himself.
Yeah, my name's Dougal. I started playing Legacy in 2014 with a Death and Taxes deck that I am currently still playing.
He still plays, yeah. All foil.
Nice and pretty.
Love the deck, love the format, so it's nice to be here.
All Therese Nielsen Judge foil planes as well, because he has more dollars and cents.
A lot like me, actually.
That was rather nice lands that we got. So who have we got this time, guys?
We've got 2 locals here.
Two locals, yeah. We got
on the left here we have Rick Paterson. On Bug Delver, Rick is a Rockhampton boy, which is actually a town where not too far from Gladstone, where I started playing Magic when I got back in.
I didn't realize Rick was from Rocky.
No, he is. So I've actually known Rick longer than most of the other Brisbane Magic players. He was one of the first Magic players I made friends with.
He's very good at playing Magic and not owning any cards.
Yes.
I think he borrowed quite a bit of the deck for today.
One of the issues with studying and not being able to work full time.
Yeah, definitely. It's an expensive hobby, but I mean, we've got such a good community here in Brisbane that we've often got full Legacy decks, thousands and thousands of dollars worth of cards that we'll just lend out without a second thought to people. It's a really good time. Jump into Legacy Tuesdays if you've never played the format before as well. There will be someone there with a deck for you. There's a link to the Facebook group. Yeah, come join us. It's great fun.
And on the right here we have local resident Paul Long.
Paul Long!
Dougal, would you like to chat about Paul? He's a good friend of yours.
Yeah, no, Paul is a very good player. Has a lot of time for Magic, which is good. Loves the Eternal formats in the form of Modern and Legacy.
We haven't quite got him in a Vintage yet, but all in good time.
All in good time.
One of his proudest achievements, he got the Planeswalker points, one of the achievements you have online.
Yeah.
Of playing an event every single day of the week.
Nice.
Yeah.
So he's managed to, I don't know, I don't consider that a great achievement, but he's quite proud of it. So Paul does play a lot of Magic, and he plays all the formats, barring Vintage.
No, he's a really cool guy as well. He's good fun to be around.
Yeah, I believe he's on Czech Pile today.
Yes.
He is, yep. So let's go take a look at
the 4-color Leovold deck. So what are your guys' thoughts on the matchup here?
I'm actually torn. I love both decks. I think Czech Pile might have it here, though.
Yeah, I feel like Bug Devil might have the consistency, but Czech Pile just kind of has the answers in different colors.
And it has the staying power more than Bug Delver does.
I agree. I think there's just a few too many 2-for-1s in Czech Pile. That if you can survive the initial onslaught of Delvers and Hymns and whatnot, it'll win the late game.
No, I agree entirely. He's going to have a rough early game, but if he can withstand it and Czech Pile can withstand it, then yeah, he's going to be golden going into the late game.
But we have...
Especially with just a polluted Delta opening from Rick, then that's not a good start.
And a really good opening by Paul here of Deathrite.
He's got his lands in front as well. I'm going to choke him.
Painful Truce
into Painful Truce with 3 cards. So basically refueled back up.
Land force.
Being well ahead on the board here.
Yeah, that's an amazing hand too.
Yeah. So we have Force of Will, Brainstorm.
Abrupt Decay, the Deathrite.
We have a Jace in hand from Paul.
That was a Jace, yeah.
So it's quite timely Abrupt Decay, otherwise we could have seen a 10-3 Jace.
Oh yeah, that Abrupt Decay saved
with Force backup as well.
With Force backup, which could have just been lights out for it, I think. But instead we just have Deathrite Pass, holding up Counterspell, Force of Will, blue card, and also a Spell Snare. I believe it's not a Counterspell, it's a Spell Snare, Brainstorm.
Yeah, it was, okay.
Oh no, there's... So his hand is Jace, Spell Snare, Brainstorm, Land, Force of Will. So quite a great hand here. And you'd imagine he'll get Jace to stick one way or another pretty soon. Tamagotchi from Rick.
Spell Snare, yeah.
Yes,
Spell Snare on that one. I love the fact that there's the one black border dual on there, and the rest is all white border. But it's also the cheapest one there.
It is. Rick actually borrowed most of the cards for this deck.
He borrowed a lot of cards from me for Vintage as well, but then he didn't turn up, which means I didn't have a Vintage deck to lend to someone else.
However,
Classic.
a few cards in the deck, including the Bayou, are actually mine.
So that is, I was going to ask, is that an FBB or a beta? But that answers my question, I suppose. That's a beta Bayou.
It is from my Jun deck, which is not seeing much play right now.
Wow, well, we need to make Jun great again.
So we have a Death Ride activation for 4 mana.
There's
Jace,
the Jace.
playing around days.
Now, do you want to brainstorm this, or do you want to just bounce the death? You want to bounce the Death Right?
Yeah, I think you have more than enough answers right now in hand, so
You do.
buy yourself a bit of time and then you can start brainstorming next turn. Because he knows he's up against Bug, he knows there won't be a great answer for Jace apart from Leovold. There will be no Lightning Bolts or Toll Against Command or something that can get rid of Jace very quickly. However, we do see that Leovold.
There's Leovold.
And brainstorm in response.
Finding
This
an
leaves Paul susceptible to days here. So I'm surprised, since he already had a forcible blue card in hand, I'm surprised he went for the brainstorm here.
Bug isn't very keen on days, though. It isn't running the full 4 like your Rug and your blue-red builds.
Typically,
I
Bug
run
Delver
2.
does.
I run 2 in Bug Delver.
But I've seen quite a few lists of Bug Delver that run all 4.
That's true. Let's see what Rick's running. And sure enough, he's running the 4. I don't like the full 4 here.
Yeah. But yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that brainstorm either. But it worked out. Rick didn't have the counter spell, so Paul is well and truly ahead at this stage.
Oh, yeah. Paul's got this game unwrapped up from the look of it. I mean, there's still a lot that can change, but
Yeah.
it's going to take a lot on Rick's part to really bring this one back.
Yeah. There's a fatal push for the Delver.
And there's Rick shaking the table just a little bit, showing off this shiny new camera's image stabilization.
So Rick has a Wasteland in hand, the Death Ride, which we knew about.
What else is that? No, that's the new Principal Wasteland, that's why I don't recognise it. It's a Misty
It's
Rainforest.
Misty Rainforest
and something
and
else.
Unknown. So Paul activates the Death Ride end of turn,
Yep, down to 16.
down to 16, but Paul's just so far ahead on card advantage here.
Paul's moved his life dice completely out of the area that we can see. He'd be about
The
6.
Snapcaster Mage fatal push,
He'd be about 15 because he's Painful Truthed and
and he's
Fetched
fetched and
twice.
he's forced to
There's a
will.
scoop.
and Force.
And there's a scoop from Rick.
That's it, we're done here. Well, it's a very quick game one.
Yeah,
So,
not a great draw from Rick there. No turn 1 play. Being on the draw.
Well,
It's quite unfortunate.
Bugs, brings it back a little bit post-board.
It does. We see a Jace coming in, a Sylvan Library.
We will not be seeing a Jace coming in. Rick doesn't run one on the board. He's got 2 Flusterstorm, I think that's a Null Rod.
That was definitely a Jace.
A
There's,
Jide. Oh, sorry, there is one there. It's just
there
I
is.
couldn't read it. Yeah,
Seeing
there's a
that on the
Jide,
screen here.
an Edict, 2 Thoughtseize, an Elemental Blast, the Jason Might Sculpted,
So
2
the Jace-
Deluge.
Yeah, so the Jace definitely comes in. Consideration might be for Flusterstorms and Thoughtseizes. The Jace and the Sylvan Library are slam dunks.
Yeah, definitely Jason Sylvan Library.
Does Czech Pile play Abrupt Decay? does,
Some
there
lists do, some lists don't.
In the board, usually.
Yeah.
There's 1 Abrupt Decay in the board for Paul and 2 in the main.
Okay, so the answers for the library are really just Abrupt Decay and the Evolved.
Yep.
Yes.
There.
And
Stops
then
them
the
from
Hunter
drawing.
Souls.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So Rick didn't board in any Flusterstorms here or Thoughtseizes. I'm a fan of not boarding in the Thoughtseize. It's a grindy matchup, and top deck Thoughtseizes are bad. But I'd be interested in maybe boarding in Clusters, just over Force of Wills,
Yeah, so it
because
looks like
Force of Wills are pretty awful in this matchup.
So it looks like we had a Deluge out of Paul.
So we see Rick boarding out three forces for Sylvan Library, Jace, and another card.
There's not a Deluge, but that's okay.
What does Paul have in his board?
Paul's got what you can see on the screen now, but it's a Diabolic Edict, 2 Flusterstorm, 2 Surgical Extraction, 2 Thoughtseize, a Pyroblast, a Reb, Sylvan Library, a Cage, 1 Abrupt Decay, 1 Static. I like the Static Caster there, and a Pithing Needle.
Against Bug Delver, the Static Cast is interesting, but I don't think worthwhile.
Definitely not worthwhile here. It's for your Grixis matchup.
Yeah, the Pyroblasts are
And Elves.
pretty good here.
Yeah, Pyroblast is great.
Sylvan Library is also pretty good.
Sylvan Library is amazing.
Yeah.
The extra Abrupt Decay is really good.
Another Abrupt Decay,
Abrupt Decay
definitely.
is also very
Yeah,
good.
there's quite a lot he can do here. And I'm not sure he wants to do all of it.
Yeah. I don't think you want to dilute it too much.
Because Czech Pile's an ultra greedy deck to begin with, and you board too much and you just lose the focus of the deck in general.
Agreed. But Rick will be on the play in this match.
Yeah, he'll...
Hopefully
looks like we're coming back now.
There's a better 7 than the last one.
Hope so.
So we see he's kept in the daisies on the play, which I do like.
Mm-hmm.
There's the hand of Abrupt Decay, some number of lands.
And that's another Polluted Delta go. I don't like it. That's much nicer. Ponder, I recall.
It is. So we see the Ponder as well. I believe Paul only has 2 lands. So he has 2 lands, a couple of Brainstorms, Fatal Push. So he really needs to find more lands here. He sees 3 non-land cards on top. It's a quick and easy shuffle.
I believe it was 2 Death Rides and a Diabolic Edict.
But, and he goes a Snap Custom Edge. While a good card, he's still just looking for more lands at this stage. Rick has the Tarmogoyf on turn 2, potentially.
Yeah. It's not that big yet, but...
Not very big.
Oh, that land's also in the grade. I keep seeing that in Vignettes in the Exile.
Zone.
Yeah. So it's a 2-3
just a
goal.
2-3 currently.
That's alright. It gets bigger.
It does get bigger.
Can't die to Bolt either.
Yeah.
Right.
Not that I think Paul is playing Bolt.
But Paul does have Fatal Push and Diabolic Edict here. However, it's an interesting spot. He drew a Death Right, which he can't cast off the Volcanic. And he also can't cast a Fatal Push off the Volcanic.
So do you get the advance your board state with Death Ride, or do you just kill that guy? Kill that guy?
Yeah. I would have considered maybe... It doesn't
No,
play
that
around days
doesn't-
too much, but a consideration before fetching might have been to Brainstorm, fetch, and then Fatal Push the Ghost. It doesn't play around days, but it does utilize your mana better. We see a mismatch part Brainstorms from Paul.
I'm disgusted.
I am very
I mean,
disgusted.
you can still use the Brainstorm on which then, say, for example, in response to a Hymn Tour to hide some good cards.
So I believe he did find the 3rd land that he was after.
Which he's going to want to
Yeah.
hide.
So the cards that are useful
Leovold, and I
here
didn't
are
see that
Leovold, and obviously he doesn't want the land to be taken. So his hand's quite redundant. Snap Custom Mages, removal spells, and cantrips.
What did he hit? Snapcaster
So he hit a
and
Snapcaster
Ponder.
and a Ponder.
That could have been worse.
It could have been, but not much worse.
It's not like that surgical hymn we saw in the first round.
Yes. So you see the land, but he's kept the Leovold below the land, so
Yeah.
he can't cast the Leovold this turn yet.
Which also means he just can't use the patch either.
Correct.
Unless he has another Brainstorm, which I think... Oh, he did. of
He
course,
does
he
have, he does have
mismatching.
another Brainstorm.
Oh,
So we have sicking
Alright.
him from Rick.
that stings.
So again, a redundant hand by Paul from Snap, Brainstorm. And a 3rd card, which I believe was the Edict.
Snap Edict, yeah.
So the Brainstorm sticks around along with the Leovold.
I believe Rick also has an Abrupt Decay for the Leovold next turn.
Yes. However, that will draw
Or
Paul a card.
It doesn't matter, he's shuffling the all the way.
Yeah. But
Oh no, he drew it, didn't
I believe Rick had a Daze in his hand
he? Oh.
from the start of the game.
Yep.
Yes.
There it is. That's brutal.
And it comes back, a day's on. This is turn 4 or 5 now.
Not often they're
Quite-
that useful.
Exactly, so
So you got to feel good being Rick at that stage there.
yeah, so Paul's down to top decking now essentially.
But Rick doesn't have much of a board either.
Rick doesn't have a lot of pressure, but he does have cards.
On the other hand, that Goif is going to be somewhat
Goif's gonna
big.
be
It's
pretty
going to be a number that I've just put up on the screen now.
There's that brainstorm by Paul. So we see, is that a
There's
murderous
a murderous cut. for the,
brainstorm and snap?
which will
possibly.
both shrink the Goif and
kill it
and kill
at
it.
the same time.
Stop future Goifs.
However, I believe he also has the option of Snapcaster Featherfish.
Does it start with Snappy?
But he doesn't want to shuffle. Because he's kept some good cards on top.
Yeah, he's got the good stuff.
Rick
So
playing the
yeah,
enchantment beforehand so that if it gets countered, it grows the Goif.
yes.
Nice. That's good play.
Heads up, play from Rick there. However, it doesn't get countered and it's actually going to cause Paul a lot of problems down the track. Offers card advantage and selection to Rick.
Does Rick play any creatures that the murderous cut should have been kept full, like a Tombstalker or a Gomad?
Let's have a look. I'll have a look at his deck list here. Rick is playing his creatures are 4 Deathrite Shaman, 4 Delver, 4 Goif, 2 Leovold. That's it.
Okay. It's all fatal pushable.
Yeah,
Yep. No, Leovold
with
only after
Leovold with a
cracking,
bit of
but
work.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not sure I like that on Bug Delver. I mean, Leovold's fantastic, but you need a big finisher.
Anyway, I'm a fan of Tombstalker, but I can see the allure of Leovold as well.
I've been trying Gomag in Bug, but no, he's something to go over the top, even if it's a bit smaller. And double black's fairly easy to achieve.
Yep. So we see a Snapcaster Ponder here from Paul. Chooses to keep, surprisingly. I believe it was Brainstorm land and another land.
It's not great.
So he keeps a fetch land with a Brainstorm on top. I'm not sure why he didn't just keep the Brainstorm and maybe cast that and then fetch away the bad cards.
Yeah, he's got the Delta there. It's what I would have done.
Doesn't play around the days. But he's still not under pressure yet from Rick. However, this library is going to get to work. Rick deliberating how many damage he's going to take, and he takes the full 8 damage.
Ooh.
Goes with 2 extra cards, which I like.
Yeah,
really
definitely.
like this.
It's ballsy.
I believe the only burn is Culligan's Command.
Some version might play 1 or 2 lightning bolts,
I like a couple bolts here.
but even then, you're at 19 life.
Yeah,
you
you
can
got
certainly afford to take it.
Yeah, the only point of life that matters is the last one.
Okay.
There are 0 bolts in this list. 2 K command.
So we see the shuffle here by Paul first, and then the brainstorm. This is interesting. He knew the top card was bad, but I'm curious why he didn't brainstorm last turn instead. So he gets to see 3 new cards here. He finds an Abrupt Decay, a land, and
I didn't see the third one.
Diabolic Edict.
Was it? Okay.
So he's got removal for the library. However, he is now on a clock. So this is going to be a blind flip for Delver as Rick took all the cards from library last turn.
If you've met Rick, it's going to flip.
It will flip. Guaranteed.
Yeah, I'd imagine it does. Rick's down to 9. I believe Paul is still at a fairly healthy life total. I believe 16. But Rick does potentially have 5 damage a turn right now. If the Delver flips. And he still has 1 card in hand to Paul's 0. Oh, sorry, 2 cards in hand.
2 cards, even
0.
better. Price is good.
So they're having some discussion. I'm not sure what about. Okay.
He's,
so-
yeah, well, it will flip.
So it will flip, provided there's an instant or sorcery in the top 4 cards, or in the top 3 plus his hand.
There's a Force of Will.
So you see a Force of Will. I
First
think
card
he had
is
a Decay in hand.
Does look at a decay.
I can't quite tell what that card is. Well, have us look at a moment.
2 other cards. The Wasteland, a Force of Will, the card is put back.
I believe right now Rick doesn't really care about the snap custom edge. We'll probably keep the Abrupt Decay for something a bit more threatening.
Something more important.
I completely agree. I think his high damage at turn right now outweighs snap, despite him starting at a lower life total.
Oh, he's got his cards in those the Dragon
Yes.
Shield Ghost.
Correct, the opaque sleeves. Rick at the start of the tournament had to change out his sleeves
Yeah.
because
Yep.
his Dragon Shields were
See-through.
transparent.
Yeah. I helped
He
him do
didn't
that.
have Delver checklist cards. So you see that Diabolic Edict that Paul knew was on top. And then a Force of Will hard cast by
Awesome. Yep. I had at the start of the vintage actually on day 2, there was a Merfolk player just bought Dragon Shields, the pink ones, see-through, but half of his cards were in the smoke inners and then half of them weren't.
Oh,
Yeah, it wasn't good.
that's not good.
So we had to quickly resleeve at the start, but we got there. It was fine. We managed to get him some. No, he was able to play.
So
And
Rick's in a comfortable spot, winning the race here. He has an Abrupt Decay and that unknown card that he left on top last turn. He has the potential to Wasteland Paul off. You can't Wasteland him off any colour, but you could maybe Wasteland him off double black.
off double black is the most important one here.
So Rick does go for the Decay. Being at 7 life, might have
It
been
starts to
comfortable
get-
taking one more hit from the snap.
Yeah, he's going to death throw away something black.
Yeah,
Something
so
sorcerers.
I'm guessing probably a removal spell at this stage, a Fatal Push or an Edict.
Yeah, Fatal Push I like it. Brainstorm.
No, he goes for the Brainstorm. There's several Brainstorms in there, so I'm surprised by that.
He probably doesn't think that matters.
I think the only situation there that could have gone bad if it been if Paul picked up a snap custom edge.
Yeah, it's exactly
Yeah,
why
it's-
you choose correctly.
yeah. Rick goes for the
And
him.
he's running the full 4 snaps.
Correct, Paul does have the full snaps. So Jace off the top for Paul. It's a great draw for him. He is on 5, however, so he's forced to bounce
He has to bounce the Delver.
Delver here.
I mean, it feels right anyway.
Yeah, and he drops down to 3 from the death right. So Paul will
And
still
another
have to find
Brainstorm?
himself
For whatever reason.
a removal spell next turn.
Yeah. He needs to do something about that death right straight away.
Yeah. So Rick draws an unknown card. You'd imagine he replays his Delver here. I'd imagine he should Wasteland here just to
I'd-
restrict Paul on mana.
I'd wasteland.
So in case Paul brainstorms and finds himself a Snapcaster Mage or something,
Underground Sea.
you have the Death Right to stop that, but it also just reduces the mana he has.
Is that Leopold?
That is a Leovold off the top, which is...
So I believe you can bounce a death right,
Yeah.
hope the Delver doesn't flip,
Yeah.
play the Leovold.
And then he has a blocker for the Death Right,
Yeah.
and
that's
he's
good.
on 1 life at that stage. So Paul needs a bit of luck. So Rick going after his own graveyard, hoping that playing around the Snapcaster Mage.
Mhm.
So
Could
Rick
just be
contemplating
sorcery,
decaying the Leovold so that he has lethal.
Taking him off the second black as well means that off this draw he can't draw something like a Fatal Push and get rid of
Exactly.
the
Yeah,
So
Delver.
that's
just
good.
off a green and blue mana,
So Rick's
I
up
believe
here.
Paul has no outs at that stage. So Rick wins game 2.
Yeah,
forces
I
the
didn't
decider.
think Rick would get that one back.
Yeah, that Sylvan Library was timely, and well played by him. Drawing the 2 extra cards
He took the risk
before it got abrupt decay. That really put him ahead.
Definitely, especially being one less abrupt decay for a threat.
Exactly.
Also,
So what do you reckon's going to come in down the boards?
So I saw Rick put aside a couple of Thoughtseize.
it'd be interesting if he keeps the dazes in on the draw.
I'd imagine that some number of daisies come out. Paul's considering his options. You can see he's brought a Jace and Counterspell up to the top of his deck. Is he considering boarding them out? No.
Well, the
Goes
counterspell
back
came
to
in last
shuffle.
time. Yeah.
Paul considered bringing 2 cards in. I don't believe he did though.
But would you make any changes from last time?
For Rick, certainly I'd take out some number of days.
Yeah.
Probably bring back some number of Force of Will.
Yeah,
I'm still not a big fan of Thoughtseize. However, I don't mind the Flusterstorm.
The Flusterstorm feels good here.
Yeah, I would have boarded in the Flusterstorm last game as well, but he didn't. For Paul, I'm not sure much changes. He's going to play a draw.
Looks to have taken out 2 forces and a Jace, the Mind Sculptor.
I quite like Jace in this matchup.
I don't mind the taking one out, but I wouldn't take more than one.
Yeah. Getting the forces out is probably fine. He should have probably done that in game 2 as well. But having an extra force on the draw is quite defendable too. But I wonder what Paul brought in. So Rick's still deliberating. He had pulled the Thoughtseizes out, but he hasn't put them in yet. And he decides not to. I'm surprised no number of daisies came out.
I wonder if that'll work in his favour and Paul won't actually expect them.
Well,
Possibly, but
the Czech Pile's more capable of playing around that than Bugdelver, though.
yeah.
Is Stifle usually a card for consideration in Bugdelver?
Yes.
Yeah.
If
They're
you're greedy,
realists
yes.
that
If you're
play-
not, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it something that Paul might be worried about, at least for game 1?
I'm not sure. He shouldn't be.
Once you see him, then I think it's a fair consideration that the list doesn't play Stifle.
Unless you're really, really greedy like me. I was the Bugdelver player for so long that played 4 him, 3 Stifle, 3 basic land, and a Thrun. Hey, it got me
That's
there.
going deep.
So Paul hands, it looks to be 4 lands, a Pyroblast, a Brainstorm, and Painful Truths. So no
Quite
threats.
a good hand. No threats. However, he is a Snapcaster mate. However, he has a counter spell, Brainstorm to shuffle away useless lands.
Mm-hmm.
However, if he does get wastelanded, then he does have the lands to basically execute his game plan.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's a slow hand, but a very resilient hand. Rick finally leads off with a turn 1 play.
My God. And it's a good play. I like that one, that's right.
It is.
I mean,
One of the best plays.
It does open you up to always bolt the bird, but there's no bolts. It feels unusual with a red deck and not running bolts.
So with Paul getting the Badlands, it means that he can't draw Counterspell and cast it on Rick's turn 2?
Correct. And it also means he can't play a fetch land and Brainstorm.
Yeah.
But he does have the Pyro up.
He does have the Pyro up. I'm curious. I wouldn't have fetched there. I would have kept the fetch up.
I think
So would I.
if Rick can Wasteland and play a Tarmogoyf, that'd probably be the best.
Yep.
So actually,
Play
Paul
here.
doesn't have a Brainstorm in hand. It's just 2 staff casting moving. And in typical Paul fashion, it's 2 different arts.
Hey, with Iconic Masters now, there's a 4th Grove of the Bone Rolls. I can completely different arts my Green Red Tron
Nice.
on the lands anyway.
So we see a him here. If this hits any of the non-land cards, it will be quite good for it. It only hits 1. So Paul is left with Snaps and Painful Truths. So he has a card quality, however, he could be really just might just fall behind to the board.
Yeah, it's interesting. It looks like he's going to go for the Painful Truths for 3, but he could have kept up Snapcaster Pyroblast for a turn 3 Jace from Rick.
Yes. I like the Painful Truths because if you're not doing it here, I don't think you'll find a better spot in
Exactly.
the future. Because if Rick goes for anything except the turn 4 Jace. You end up losing quite a bit of mana. So we see a Brainstorm here in response.
Could this be to find a force?
A force or a daze, and I believe he's found the daze. The daze here is quite good. Paul still has to pay the 3 life, but he doesn't draw any cards. And indeed, that's what happens.
It is an additional cost, isn't it? Yeah, all those painful truths on the screen there.
However, they have not changed that total. At least on the dice anyway. Paul's still an 18.
Converge, you draw X cards and lose X life.
Oh, it's not an additional
It
cost.
is not an additional cost.
Oh, no. Mistaken.
You heard it here first. Chash with a mistake.
I try not to make too many,
Well,
but everyone's human.
we saw last round that he didn't make too many last then, so...
So Paul with the counter spell off the top, and Rick goes to work with the Deathrite. Paul's hand of counter spell Snapcaster with the targets of a Pyroblast potentially. Rick with more cantrips in hand.
What's that he's just playing? Is that a lever?
I believe he has a Delver.
Yeah.
Fatal
I was
Push.
gonna say land, that's a land. Under that massive spot of glare. That does go away in later rounds, I promise. It's the one spot on the table that has bad glare.
Yep. So that is a fetch land, and Rick will be able to shuffle away his dead cards. I like shuffling away the Fatal Push here.
Just casually showing us that Liliana in the corner.
Yeah. I believe he drew a Liliana and a him.
Yeah, I do
Yeah,
like him here.
Both of which are pretty good here.
Pretty good, yeah. What's 3 cards in hand for Paul? Or 2?
I believe Paul has a Snap, Counter Spell, and a land. So I believe whatever Rick casts is likely to get Counter Spelled.
Yeah, should do.
So Rick plays to him and
Him,
leaves up
yeah,
one
counter
mana.
it.
Interesting. Wonder what he left up the mana for.
I believe it's a Brainstorm.
Was that another him in hand?
I believe he has a Liliana, Brainstorm, land, and something else. Might be the Fatal Push.
What are your thoughts there on using the Deathrite instead of using the actual land?
I like using the land.
I don't like using the Deathrite at all.
Yeah.
It closes off the options later to fight
yeah,
other
both.
things.
Yeah, it opens you up to Wasteland, but really, I don't think you're likely casting a Brainstorm there unless a Jace comes down.
Yep, that's fair.
So I like using the land.
Liliana, is that getting collected?
So
Looks
I
like
believe
he's
it's
having a
just a Snapcaster Mage. So it's just playing that out to be able to sack the Liliana, so you can.
Snapcaster or Pyroblast, I like that. But
Yeah. So if Rick has a response, he should do it with the Snapcaster Mage trigger on the stack. However, interestingly,
Ace.
Paul sacrifices his Deathrite Shaman and not the Snapcaster Mage.
that's unusual.
I assume his play is to start attacking the Liliana with his Snapcaster Mage, where if Rick does not have a removal spell, he'll have to block with his Deathrite Shaman.
Agreed.
But Goyf gets in the way.
Yeah, Goyf does that.
The one advantage as well for Rick for attacking Paul's graveyard is cutting off the delve of Murderous Cut a bit.
And, but if Paul wanted to sacrifice the Deathrite all along, why not leave Snapcaster till the end of the turn?
Snappy in hand, yeah.
It gives Rick some free information. We see a top deck Brainstorm for boss.
It's like double Jace from Paul.
Yeah, double Jace, Diabolic Edict, and another Snap. So we'll likely see the Diabolic Edict here.
Mm.
Getting rid of the Deathrite Shaman is my guess. We'll leave a Jace on top to be able to cast next turn. A Wasteland here would be very timely for it.
Definitely.
That'd be great.
Would you go after the red or the black?
I would go after the red.
Okay.
Yeah, hit the Badlands.
Yeah.
You go after the red and you just cut him off double black.
Because the Kolaghan's command here can kill the Lily as well.
Mm.
You can't hit him off. You can only hit him off double black, which is basically only him. But hitting him off red also just makes it hard to cast things like Decay and Flame Push, etc. So, see an Edict, discard by Liliana, and an attack for 5 by Tarmogoyf.
Down to 11.
So we know that Paul has a Jace on top, which will be quite good. Well, Jace is forced to basically bounce the Tarmogoyf, or it's essentially a 4-mana Brainstorm.
Yeah, you got to bounce the door.
He passes.
He
He
doesn't.
passes. I believe he still knows the card below the Jace as well, which I've already forgotten about. And the Jace of his own from Rick there.
Unless he's drawn into a Snapcaster Mage,
That's right, it was a Snapcaster
Yes.
Mage.
which he'll be able to flashback, I assume, Diabolic Edict.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The Edict will get rid of
Go ahead.
the Tarmogoyf.
Yep.
But the Liliana uptick is still on the stack. Rick discards the Decay. He'll look to cast the Jace here. So Paul wisely in response edicts the Glyph.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if there's anything from the Jace Brainstorm he could get that would stop it.
He's going straight for the face there.
Yeah. So he knows that Paul kept that card on top, so quite a heads up play there from Rick.
Mm.
He gets rid of the Jace. We see a Leovold off the top,
It's quite nice.
which is ideal as it stops both the Jace Brainstorm and with the attack now, Liliana cannot edict it.
Yeah, that's good.
So I'm not sure what was better there, Leovold or Jace. I think Leovold actually might have been better. So you see Rick bouncing the Leovold,
That's for a card first.
drawing a card, plus the Liliana, and then play the land.
I never really realised how good Leovold was with protecting itself, especially with Lily on board for the,
Yeah. Oh,
the
that's good.
discard.
However, the discard doesn't trigger the Leovold, does it?
No, it's
No.
each player discards a card.
Just each player. So, however, all of Jace's abilities except Fate's own self does trigger it. And that's what we see here from Rick. Jace, not so good when all you're doing is spry one, essentially.
And Delver. Nope, maybe not.
Delver comes in and just
It's
as
gone
quickly
just as quick.
it's
Yep.
gone.
Take him down to 1.
So Rick needs to find an answer for the Leovold quickly here,
So he needs to.
or else the Jace will be gone and then,
So bouncing that Leovold's going to cost
Pretty
him a
close.
Jace.
yeah. Bouncing doesn't do much.
Saves him 3 damage.
Yeah. But
And
Paul
Paul
gets to
draws a
draw a card. Maybe if he drew a Force of Will here, bouncing might be a consideration.
Or a Hint of Turak.
Or him to
Yeah, the
Turak.
Turak's alright.
But you're still, your Jace is dead either way. He does find an answer for the Leovold.
So it's
No.
quite nice, is now you can brainstorm and try to find either a threat to block
the
Or
snap or
an answer to the snap caster.
Yeah. I like finding an answer to the snap because the threats can still be destroyed.
Definitely. Seems like he's seen Underground Sea, Delver, and Ponder.
Yeah.
So I believe if you take the Ponder, you can delve one more deeper and try to find an answer.
Yeah, or shuffle. So you actually effectively can look 2 cards deeper. It
Yes.
looks like he's keeping the Delver. Yeah. But he's still deliberating. Yep, you
Yeah.
can see the Delver. And the Ponder will fall. You'd imagine he'll be able to
Delver
eventually
and 2
find
ponders.
finds 2 Ponders.
Yep. Well, let's try again.
There is a Toxic Deluge in hand, which
Wait.
isn't good for Paul here because it would kill his Snapcaster Mage as well. But the second Ponder finds him a Murderous Cut, which gets rid of all of Rick's threats. So Rick is a Ponder on top
There
now.
goes Jace.
Jace is
It's
gone.
quite a nice comeback from Paul to come from down against a Lily and a Jace.
Yeah,
That
he's-
Leovold off the top was just incredible.
that was great.
See that Ponder.
Was it
Likely
Ponder?
see a
It's
shuffle
a
here.
Daze and a
A
Death Rod
Daze.
Shaman.
Death Rush Shaman. That's going to be shuffled.
That's why it's not too bad here, but
Yeah,
you
need
don't
more,
want to be locked into drawing those other 2 cards.
you need more than not too bad, though, in that situation.
Rick's still at quite a healthy life total, so
Yeah,
Snapcaster Mage isn't too much of a worry. And
Leovold off the top is very nice.
Oh,
that'll stop all of Paul's cantripping.
Now, if he attacks, do you not block because he may have something like Colligan's Spin where you can deal the extra damage, especially being at such a healthy life?
At this life total, I'd probably let this one attack through, see what we draw, and then reevaluate.
yeah. There's
Would
no
you
point-
also be thinking of something like Toxic Deluge where he's just going to deluge after?
If he deluges after, I think it's fine. It's only 2 extra damage.
Paul
And-
can relate. Yeah, okay.
It does mean as well Paul has to pay the extra 2 life as well.
Yes. And these matches typically end where one player, snowball affects either Jace or some other card advantage engine. It's very rare that it's a tight race where someone wins because of 2 life.
Yeah.
It does happen, but it's
Not
rare.
often, though.
Yeah. And
Because
Common
they're
Growth off
both
the
just
top,
decks full of answers.
and abrupt decay off the top for Paul.
Oh.
Paul
Yeah,
knew
7.
that card was there, and he's shuffling away the 3rd card that he knew was there as well, which I'm guessing was probably a land that he doesn't want. Okay, back to Rick's doorstep. He finds a wasteland. Not so great here.
It's not great, but you may
Paul
as well.
has multiple sources of all his colours, and he can't get him off double black either.
You've got 4 black sources.
Yeah,
Or 3. That's a that's a bot connect that last one.
yeah. So 3 black sources, 2 green, multiple blue.
And 5 blue sources.
Yeah, and 2 red. And we can't even keep him off hard past Force of Will Mana either, so I think Rick elects to keep it in hand, which I think is good here, because he might be able to shuffle it away with a brainstorm in the future.
There's another wasteland. Not great.
I believe that is the same wasteland.
Oh, that is?
last turn.
I didn't use it.
He
Right,
elected
right,
not to play it
That's
after showing it to us. Okay, so now he can actually cut him off a color. He elects to cut him off green.
Yep.
He could have cut him off red, potentially. But
I think cutting him with green was pretty good, especially
Yeah.
seeing Abrupt Decay is one of the only answers for
correct.
Sylvan.
Seeing you drew the Sylvan, I think definitely cutting him off green is great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a better play.
However, Death Ride does, of course, turn green back on.
You
It
can
survives.
start to see the sunlight coming in on the top of Paul's plane out there.
So we see a Daze, a Death Ride, and a Ponder of the Sylvan Library. I imagine he takes the Death Ride and the Ponder. Pays full life for that, and he'll be pondering for an answer for his Death Ride. But that is Pyroblaster, gentlemen.
I think Rick would be pretty happy with that, especially seeing he has the library there as well.
Yeah, so essentially the boards are the same. 2 Deathrite Charmers, lots of lands, but Rick has a Sylvan Library and 4 is top decking. So I think Rick's quite happy with his position here. He does have a Daze on top, which is not that good, but with Library he'll be able to dig deeper. So there's an answer for the Deathrite. And I believe there are 2 Dazes on top. Is the second card also a Daze?
I don't remember the second one.
So Rick really wants to find a shuffle effect, but
No luck.
How many green sources would Paul have left in his deck? Can he fetch one off the...
I'd imagine
spell
this maybe a Bayou.
2 drops, possibly a Bayou. Let's have a look at his deck list.
He's playing the Badlands, so he might not actually have the Bayou.
I can't imagine. We will call Long. Verdant Catacomb, Island Swamp, Underground Sea, 2 drops.
Okay.
His duels are 3 Underground Sea, 2 drop, a Vulcan, the Badlands.
Yeah, so a pretty good draw there by Paul. A Baleful Strix gets him a redraw, which finds him a Brainstorm.
And 2 basic islands, 1 swamp, and a bunch of fetches.
So with the Brainstorm in the fetch land, he'll be able to get rid of that island.
And one
leave himself
Snapcaster.
with Snapcaster made Jace, which is
Quite strong.
very, very strong. Rick needs answers for these. The Snap's not so good with the Deathrite active. However, the Jace can force the Deathrite to be not active for a turn, and then the Snap can get in for a removal spell on the Deathrite. The Kindly Wasteland, however, would be interesting. Interesting that Rick didn't pay 4 life for a Daze here. That we know is on top of his deck. Wasteland plus the Daze can actually stop
Jace the Mind
a
Sculptor.
Jace
Yeah.
Mind Sculptor. So I like attacking the red here. It doesn't stop a Jace if a land is gone as well,
Yeah.
but it's interesting. Might have also just taken the Daze just to be able to dig deeper with future library activation.
Yeah, especially being on what I believe is 14.
11 life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely fix this life dice situation for the next event. I've got Master can claim that coming.
Excellent.
It looks like the only removal spell that Paul can cast from the graveyard is Fatal Push, so that...
I believe there's a Murderous Cut as
And a
well.
Murderous
Yeah,
Cut,
Murderous
sorry.
Cut.
So if I were Rick, I'd be probably taking one of those removal spells.
He takes
Nope.
the Brainstorm.
He likes Brainstorm. He does like taking those Brainstorms.
So yeah, now in the situation, Paul has an active Deathrite. An active Jace. He has a Snapcaster Mage available to him next turn, so he's well ahead. So yeah, it was 2 days on top for Rick. I guess to dig into that third card. Might have been risky, but I think taking a day's last turn, or maybe even a turn before, would have been pretty good.
Yeah.
He elects to take the hymn to Tarak now, and the days as well. So he hits the 2 snaps, which is great.
That's good.
Which is perfect.
However, the active Jace, and now the Baleful Strix is actually a 3-turn clocker as well. Sorry, a 6-turn clock.
6-turn clock. I didn't think Baleful Strix was that good. Such a good card, though.
And Paul finds lots of removal. Mulligan's Command. Playing around days as well, getting back Deathrite. Killing the Deathrite. The Deathrite gets dazed.
Yeah. Feels alright.
However, Rick still needs more help now. The days are Fatal Push and something else. A Ponder to shuffle away. Rick finds a goif, which I believe Paul has the answer for.
Yep.
Top
Fatal
of the
push.
deck, fatal push. I would have brainstormed first before playing the fatal push there.
So
Consideration also might have been just to uptick with the Jace, because your clock is quite fast now.
yeah, it's
But the library does make that worse. And Rick sees 2 fetches and another card. Rick unable to pay to draw any extra cards at this stage.
well, he's able to. He just really shouldn't.
He really shouldn't, yes.
Hmm.
And he also can't fetch as well.
He's still got the selection there though, which is really
He has the
valuable.
selection, but 3 damage coming in next turn, so he can't fetch anything away. Leaves him in a tight spot. He needs a sweeper and an answer with Jace at the same time.
What's that really odd card that destroys all permanents? All non-land permanents? There you go.
Obliterate.
Upheaval, isn't it?
That just bounces them.
It bounces me. What's the one that destroys them?
Upheaval hits lands too.
Oh, yeah.
The obliterate doesn't obliterate hit everything. And there was planar cleansing, but that didn't hit planar.
Artifacts, creatures, and lands, you'd still have Jace.
Sorry?
Obliterate hits all artifacts, creatures, and lands.
Okay. And there's the handshake.
That's the game. That was an interesting one.
That was very interesting games.
Yeah, I felt like the advantage changed
So
quite a
many
few
times.
considerably, back and forth. And that's what I love about Legacy. These sorts of matches, I think, was what makes Legacy great.
Definitely.
It's all these little edges that can be gained from sequencing and,
If people go and say that they don't play it because all the games are one-sided and end in a couple of turns, and that's completely incorrect. Even Vintage, they're very fair formats because you're playing with the silly things, but both sides have the silly things.
I agree. I find in Vintage you tend to get to top decks actually even more often than in Legacy.
Because you grind each other with the overpowered shit to a halt right at the start, and then you're playing top deck Magic.
Yeah, and with restrictions on brainstorms and ponders and other cantrips, it becomes harder.
It's a very fast format as well because of that, because you're not spending all your time sitting there contemplating over brainstorms.
We saw what classic Legacy matchup here and what makes Legacy a great format.
Such a good format.
And so stick around for the other rounds as we have similar.
We've got a few more today. Today was we've got 4 more rounds for you coming out over the next few days, and stick around. It'll be good.
Excellent.